Good morning. It is really early in my house and I'm just getting ready for the day, but I wanted to say I'm popping on here because I wanted to mention that I am doing the 3-month Change Your Life Challenge by Joshi Corin, and my son's awake, so I will come back and talk more about it. But I'm awake, I'm ready for the day, I'm ready to start this. Yeah, I need a challenge is basically what it is. So we'll be back and I'll talk a little bit more about the challenge in my next clip. Yeah, go me for vlogging again, because I'm not very good at this, but I'm gonna do it. That's part of this whole 12 weeks is a vlog a week. I can do it. I can totally do it. All right, it's halfway through the day and I planned on getting a whole lot more done today, including I planned on filming the part where I mentioned why I want to do this and why having some kind of connection, or gosh, what's the word I'm looking for? I don't even know. Accountability is really important for me. I think I am such a social person, but I've been really struggling with social-wise, and I am folding my children's laundry while I'm doing this because I'm trying to multitask because I need to get this laundry done. And my therapy appointment is in an hour, but I have a 30-minute commute to get to my therapy appointment. And it's like one of those things where I am reevaluating my therapy. My therapist and I have been in a client-patient relationship for 10 years. I love my therapist. She has been through all of my ups and downs. But where I live, clear on the other side of our city, it's very hard, and it's the time that I have set up is the middle of the afternoon, and when I actually go back to work, it's not going to work. So I just am trying to figure it out. I dread driving. I know therapy is really good for me, but I dread driving every time I go. So it's just trying to figure that out. But I just really, if you can't see this is all of my stationery stuff, and it used to be a lot messier. That's not clean and organized. Oh wait, no, that is clean and organized. But that's my house. That's how my house has been. And so I'm just trying to be real. And I don't have the Instagram worthy beautifulness, and I do a lot of manipulation with my videos to kind of hide it because I'm very embarrassed by it, just because I struggle and get very overwhelmed with cleaning and keeping my house in a place where it's not embarrassing to have people over, or just even, man, I don't know. My sons had their friend over yesterday because we had rented a bouncy house for them, and over the weekend, goodness gracious, every time, I'm so annoyed. I seriously love my dogs, but every single time, it feels like every single time, they won't have barked for like 2 hours, and then the moment I get on, they see something across the street, and then they have to bark. Ugh. Especially my old dog, Burtis, he thinks that he is a giant watchdog, and he is the least scary thing in the whole world. You look at him funny and he will run away. Anyway, so yeah, with all of this is just overwhelming. But my sons had their friend over yesterday, and they're young, they're like 7, and he's like, "Why is your house so messy?" He goes, "My mom cleans my house." I'm like, yeah, your mom's awesome. Like, I love his mom. Yeah, she's great. But I just was like, so I texted her that, and I don't have shame with a little boy saying that, that doesn't bother me as much, because he's just observing, and he's not trying to be mean about it. He's just like, well, my mom cleans my house, why don't you? And it's like, I do. I do. I try really hard. I am just unorganized. I fight my kids every single day to clean up their toys. Like, it's literally, right now I'm looking into my living room and there are toys all over the floor because I didn't clean them up. And it's like, it has just been a constant battle. And my husband's been stressed at work, so he's been working a lot more, and it all falls to me. But I really, really struggle with, where do I start? How do I do this? It's that whole executive function of ADHD. And so then it just spirals, and I'm working on it. And it's one of those things that I've gotten so much better about it because of systems. And where I see other people who have developed these systems, I really want to learn from them. And so with this 3 months to change your life, it kind of reminded me of 75 Hard, but from a perspective of somebody who isn't like a brosif or a bro, and isn't like, if you miss a day, you're gonna be starting over and you suck. I don't like that, because we are such adaptive human. I want to build and develop habits that after these 3 months I can still continue to build, because I have been building habits. Like, the fact that I'm sitting here and doing laundry is a huge step. My husband used to have to, on top of everything, fold our kids' laundry, which it takes forever, because have you ever seen little kids' clothes? They're tiny. A whole basket of their clothes takes me 3 times as long as mine. Sometimes they can take 2 hours. And I just get so overwhelmed with it, and then I get angry at it. And this morning I got overwhelmed. I was folding it and I got just overwhelmed by the like amount of, this is hard. Your brain is shutting down. And I went and fell asleep on the couch. So that is how ADHD works. And actually I was reading a study about that. That is like something that does happen with ADHD brains, is that when their brain can't function on a task anymore, it just shuts down and wants to sleep. I'm like, oh. So it's just trying to figure out how to combat that. And I'm working with my doctor to find, the balance for my medication, because I think that right now, with grief and figuring out how to live life and move on and everything, I am having to readjust my medications, because I'm sure that my brain has been put on, I know my brain has been put on more stress. And yeah, and I see my little labubu's back there. Yes, I fell into it. I never talked about it. Maybe I did one video, but my sister and I went down kind of a rabbit hole, and I got this labubu. One second here. Got this guy, and we got one for my mom, and we got one for my sister. We all got one. These are the Coca-Cola labubus. I know, they're so cute. They're cute and creepy and weird, and what is this, and why are we so obsessed with it? I don't know, but they're small, soft, cuddly, and this one's holding a Coke can. So, yeah, Coca-Cola was my dad's favorite drink, and it's one of those things that it's really hard the last couple months of his life, because he didn't even want a Coke, and that's not like him. Like, he just, that was weird. I grew up, I used to joke with my friends that, we didn't always have the essentials in our house, because our house wasn't always the best of stocking. And, growing up, when you don't always have everything, like, it's very tough. And dealing with that, I said, so we wouldn't have things like essentials, like milk. We wouldn't have milk, but we would always have Coke. And when I traveled on the road, my dad was a traveling salesman, and I traveled with him for a few years as a salesperson, and I sold at trade shows and home shows and events and things. We would always have a whole cooler of Coke. And so Coke is a big part of us as like my family and my dad. It just reminds me of my dad, and I always just want to have not always, but right now I want to have pieces of my dad around. And so this one was my first Labubu that I bought a few weeks ago, and he just kind of hangs out. My mom has hers right next to my dad's urn, so I mean, that is great for her that she gets to see that. She has it right next to him. She talks to her urn, and I'm glad that she has that comfort with it. But it's just kind of one of those things that I'm trying to remember the good things, and I'm trying to remember the things that make me happy, because I do miss all of that. I miss my dad. I miss that stuff, and it's hard. And then I feel guilty for talking about it so much on my channel, because I don't want to be one of those people who all they talk about is the sad. That's just not, I don't know. I'm sure I am overthinking all of this as I'm navigating through life, but it's just, this is a really hard season for me. I've had a lot of really good seasons, but man, the last year, it feels like there's just been so much loss, and it's not just loss of a person, but I go from, my job is hard. I will 100% say that. I might not work all the time, because I'm not a full time. I walk in, I'm just the like temporary substaff, but I care for my students so much, and every time I leave my students and their teacher comes back, which is exactly what you want, I go through a huge period of mourning, and it gets harder every time, because you have to start over. And I haven't moved in the same building many times. Like I'm so excited because I finally get to be back in a building that I've been in already this year, and it's like I've been there a few times, and it feels like coming home. I see my old students. I literally got mobbed by hugs the other day, and that was amazing. I almost cried. I was like, oh, please don't cry in front of these 8th grade boys. Just don't do it. Just don't do it, Mandy. And but it's hard because you have to leave, and so I grieve a lot. And so it's just been that, and then grieving loss of students that you love, and grieving that kind of routine. I'm trying to build a routine in my life, if that makes any sense. I don't know if I'm making any sense. I'm just trying to build routine, and I have no idea. But this is the first day of this challenge, and I don't even have my goals set. I know that I want my house to get in order, and I know that I want to have a daily routine. So that, and so it's just like trying to define what that looks like and how that feels. And I have a feeling it may change, but I liked what Jess was saying in her videos through the first round. I watched every single one of her videos for this 3 months to change your life, because this is her second round of doing it. I was very fascinated by this, and I was excited to see. So it's her thought with her goals was shoot for the moon, land somewhere in the stars. So I'm just trying to think, what would my shoot for the moon look like? And if I land amongst the stars, then I'm still moving my life forward. I'm still coming up with solutions. So many little clothes. Oh, isn't this one cute? This is my son's swim shirt, which honestly, he doesn't need his swim shirt anymore because his swimming lessons are inside. So, but they're growing so fast. This isn't gonna fit him for much longer. And he is, what size is this? Yeah, it's a size 6. Although these like little pajamas like this, they are so much smaller than what they used to be, or what their size meant to be, because I know they're supposed to be skin tight, but my kids hate the skin tight. So then I'm having to buy like 2 sizes too big for them. I buy 2 sizes too big for them anyway, but yeah. And then chicken socks. Here you go. You can see some chicken socks. My son is into dinosaurs, and I found these. These are a gag. These are a gag gift that you can get offline, and he thinks they are just the best, because chickens are real life, real living dinosaurs. So that, yeah, I'm sharing. But then I also found these. He loves knee-high socks. He's so weird. I love him. I love how, and I tell him all the time, I'm like, it is so awesome to be yourself and be you, and you being yourself is going to influence and inspire others to be themselves. So never lose that. That's like one of my things to my son that I say to him all the time. So I hope that he doesn't lose it, and he doesn't like just walk with the crowd. He went to school wearing like this little costume, claws and everything he made. But these are men's socks, I didn't know that when I ordered them, but he still loves them and he still wears them. So yeah, anyway, I'm sharing my kids' socks. Oh my goodness. This is the real me. So if you want more vlogs, this is what you're going to get. You're going to get kids' socks that are Jurassic Park and World, and just me being weird, because I am weird. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being weird. That's part of me. I'm always been myself. But yeah, that's about why I want to. So I think, like, hopefully in the next clip or two, I will have gotten to a point where I can start showing you some of my goals and how I've been working them. I may film some journaling, you know, because this is basically, like, that's what I do for most of my content, but I'm hoping that I can, you know, sprinkle some of my journals throughout here. But I am really enjoying kind of just sitting here and chatting in my vlogs, and I really liked doing my vlog the couple weeks ago, and I'm hoping to do them more. I'm hoping for this whole challenge I can do one a week. I think that is doable, but I don't know. I'm not great at routine and schedule, but I'm trying to get better. I'm getting better. I've been able to crank out videos these last few months because I have been focusing on my house, so I think I can do it. I'm gonna tell myself you can do it. That is the one thing. That's like one of my goals, is to document this whole thing, so I can personally look back, and that maybe somebody else will be inspired, because I was so inspired by Jess over at Joshi Corin and her whole journey for 3 months. I was like, okay, I can do something like that. Then I have structure, because that's the biggest thing, and I have support because she has a little network, and yeah, so we'll see where it goes. Well, I didn't get any more filming done yesterday, but I am starting today. I actually ended up running out of time because kids and life, but I am getting ready to film another video for my YouTube, and I'm just trying to figure out, like, what I'm doing, getting my goals set. I did do, like, the basic 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down the page for my planner, just to try to figure out, like, what is happening each and every day and how I want to set up my goals and where I want to input them. And I'm going to film that because I put it in like a scratch journal, but I think I'm gonna, for now, while I'm doing this challenge, I'm going to scrap my traveler's notebook, journal, and planner. That's working great, but like I'm gonna keep it like kind of as a supplement in my traveler's journal, but that way I have that with me when I'm working and that kind of stuff, since some days I work, some days I don't. And then I will have a bigger one that I have here at home where I can really jot down my goals and, like, see the progress and all that stuff. So I'm going to film that video here in the next couple days. But right now I have other videos that I was working on and I'm kind of all over the place. I woke up, I don't know if I already said this because brain fog, but we have a farming field right next to our house that the owners just don't want to get rid of, so they farm it every year. I don't know if it really makes them much money, but I feel like they're just like, to our city, you can give us more money. That's basically what it is. And it's in the middle of the city and it gets farmed. And so I think they had soybeans this year. I don't know, but they were, whatever you call it. I grew up in farm country, but I am not a farmer. I don't understand any of it. I grew up in the city around, like, farms everywhere. Like, you leave my city in 10 miles, not even 10 miles, there's farms everywhere. So I grew up not knowing exactly, is it harvest? I think it is harvesting, but they tilled it all up, or not tilled, I don't know what they did, but they got rid of all of the farming or all of the crop. And as they did this weekend, the dust just was everywhere. You could see all the little dust particles everywhere. And so my sinuses, as my glasses fall off my face, my sinuses all in here are just, bleh. I'm taking Zyrtec, I'm taking Mucinex, like I'm trying to take care of myself, drinking all the water because water really helps with my sinuses. But this headache might knock me down today. It's not, I don't want it to, but it may. Anyway, that's about what is going on for today. This is Tuesday of my first week, and I already feel like I'm behind because I didn't have everything planned out like I meant to last week. But that's okay because it is 3 months. It is not like a if you don't do this, you fail, like 75 hard was, and I can kind of just keep going. And so that's the plan for today. And we have dinner like we always do at my mom's tonight, and so I don't have to cook tonight and think about that. Where we sometimes have different things, but my kids and I and all of us are like tacos. They're so easy. Let's just do tacos. And my mom's like, oh, that's so boring. But I think that's because it's like one of the only meals she eats right now, like actual meals. Like she eats a lot of frozen dinners and things, just trying to get through the day. I can only imagine how hard it would be to cook as a single person after you've spent so many years cooking to somebody else's tastes. Like, I mean, yeah, she cooked for my mom, my dad all the time. So it's just trying to figure that stuff out. I think it's all just new normal for all of us. But yeah, so we're probably having tacos. I don't know if we order out, that's fine, whatever. But yeah, it's really nice that we have that. We still have that going because it's nice to anchor us. But at the same time, then my husband does things on Wednesdays and Thursdays. So I just feel like we don't really ever fully have a family night. And so I'm trying to figure out how we can work that into our schedule. Just lots of things I'm thinking about. So yeah, anyway, that's about it right now. So I am gonna let you go, and I will talk back at you in the next clip. Who knows what that's gonna be? Probably maybe tomorrow. But I am actually like day 2 vlogging, so I'm really proud of myself because this is one of those things that like it never happens. I am not great at vlogging, but I'm gonna be great at vlogging. I'm gonna keep going because that is a goal, because I love watching vlogs. So I want to share even if my life is messy, because you can watch the progression of this throughout the week because this is getting cleaned and organized. I'm actually doing some research on how to find a good place for my inks that will keep them safe so they don't change colors. Anyway, talk to you soon. Okay, so it is now Wednesday, which means I did not get a chance to film again yesterday, which is fine. It is what it is. I am really trying to get everything organized. I have more laundry here. I am trying to figure out my list. I want to start a whole new notebook, which I think I mentioned yesterday, but I cannot remember. Brain. But I'm picking out my notebook today to start with the 3 months to change your life. But I'm already starting the habits, like the cleaning and really getting my house going. And one of those things is my ink, which is everywhere. And I know that I've mentioned on the channel, I am more than willing, if you send me a message on Instagram, to do an ink trade or an ink, swap, whatever. I have so much ink. And here is one. I want to show you what I'm starting to get. Because I found this little container on Amazon, and it's actually for nail polish, but I'm thinking that it's going to work great. I already filled it up, so I can show you it right here. Okay, so this is it. This, I am filling up the top, and I'm a little anxious because I do have some glass bottles in here. It doesn't have any foam, but I've got like all my syringes now. This is where they're going to be housed. This is my Hokoro dip pen, so all my dip pen stuff will be here. I do have my Mod Podge in here just because it fits well, and then this is my Daniel Smith, where is it? Daniel Smith watercolor ground to put on things to make it a watercolor surface. So I want to, before I show you all of what's inside, I'm going to stuff it so when I flip this, it's not going to hurt what's inside. Okay, so here's what it looks like, and behind it is all of the extra things, but this part, these two are the same compartments, and they come off. So I want to find and see if I can just buy these compartments separate, but I really like this. I'm thinking that if I can find these compartments, that would be great. And then I can just take one of these compartments with me when I go to Denver in a couple weeks for the pen show, because this is a great way to travel with inks because it's really safe. But this is all, so you can see, this is all my Robert Oster inks mostly, and then I've got a couple linen toolbars. I actually don't have that much for linen toolbar, which is really good. I have a couple more. I have Ghost Plant and Chemica. I cannot remember what it said. This one's a sample from a dear pen friend, Bailey. She sent me, my gosh, look at how much she sent me of this Pen BBS rose quartz. She sent me such generous samples. I am so grateful. She even sent me the rest of this bottle of Day to Night. But this is my Robert Oster collection, as you can see. I am not lacking for ink. And then underneath here is the other one. And this thing, whoops, as I'm dropping stuff, this comes off completely, so you can open, so you can have this, like, this is a little section that's separate. But I really like how the bottles, not all my bottles are gonna fit in here, but at least the ones that do, like Robert Oster all fits. So if I add to my Robert Oster collection, which I will, they can all be right here rather than in where I have my other inks. And I can show you that too here in a second. So on the back here, this zips all the way off, and I will leave a link down in the description of where I found this. And it's got other colors, not just purple, but I'm in love with purple. And it's kind of, there's like a little bump here, so I'm just trying to get it over that bump. Okay, so I went ahead and just did it all, but it has these straps so you can pull it up. And then it's got another, so this, like, I could just carry one of these empty with me, or, you know, bring a little bit of ink, but not go crazy. And here are my Diamine inks. I used to have my Diamine inks on a shelf with these. These are 3D printed. I found them on Maker World, Bamboo Labs Maker World. I do not remember the link. It's been so long. I don't know if they're still there. I'm sure they are, but you can see that's a little dusty. But those I'm gonna let go of for this, because one of the reasons I want this is because then they're not, you know, moving around. They're really, really secure in this, because, you know, you have to pull them out. But then I want to, you know, you can see I was already cataloging some of these inks, and I have some of them done, but I want to catalog them all and then put them in color coded. So this is going to be a long project, but I want to color code them and see, you can see I have so many Diamine inks. And this is not even including my ink vent, like mini bottles, but I really like the idea of being able to just take this with me when I go to the pen show and share some inks with my friend. And so it's like, it would be nice to bring a few and then have a couple syringes so I can share and, you know, find some new stuff. But then I've got also, these are the smaller bottles from Birmingham Pen Co. So I don't have too many of those. I mean, for some people, this is like their entire ink collection, but this is not my entire ink collection. I am addicted to ink, and I will 100% say that. And I am okay with it. I just want it organized more than what it was. Okay, and that's why I say organized, because this is where my ink is living right now. And I do sometimes keep them in the boxes. As you can see, my Kobe's, for the most part, I keep them in the boxes because they're easier to stack. I have this much for Kobe ink, plus these two, which is my strawberry chocolate, which I am actually starting to love, and I think I've given quite a bit of it out. Let me look here. But yeah, I'm actually starting to love this ink, and I've given quite a bit of it out, so it's getting used, which is great. I do have it currently inked in a pen. But this is what it was, and so what I was finding is that because all my Robert Oster was in here too, so I was having to stack them too high, and I don't think that's safe. It's you know, this is just a metal bin that I got from Costco, but that's where they were housed, and things are falling now because, you know, they have a little bit of room to breathe. But I at one point did have these all organized by brand. And for the most part, they still are. Like my Kobe's still here, my J. Urban's here. But the thing about J. Urban is that they've got these really obnoxious bottles that just don't fit well. And then there's my Tasha. I only have, what is it? 1, 2, I think I have 4 bottles of Tasha ink. And they're different. Like, so Ume Murasaki is right here, and the Natane, they're different bottles than these ones. So I've kept these ones in the box, but these ones are
are more square. But I'm trying to keep them in here, kind of in the shade, out of the sun. And so there's more ink in here. And so this has just got 3 drawers. And so or 4. So they're all full. And yeah, so I do have a lot of ink.
Now I know with the internet, there is a lot of discourse and conversation about consumption and overconsumption and all of that, which I totally get. Like, don't get me wrong, I totally get. And I have been very mindful of these things. But I also understand that, one, I'm not hurting anybody by having my ink. 2, I'm not putting myself into debt for my ink. 3, I don't have to answer to anyone. I'm an adult. That's just kind of how I feel, and I play my part. So like, I've seen so many videos where people feel guilty that they've spent money on pens, they've bought their inks. Like, I had a conversation with one of my followers on Instagram, and she and I did an ink swap, and she sent me a message that, like, her family made her feel so bad about her ink that she ended up getting rid of a lot of it. So now she's rebuilding her collection because she felt guilty. I'm not going to feel guilty about my ink. I'm not going to feel guilty about these things. I just refuse, because I have put so much shame on my life for so many other things that I'm not going to put shame on myself for something that brings me such joy. I love playing with my ink. I love looking at colors and using it. Like, not a single one of my ink bottles haven't been used. I use it. I use it for art. I use it for my writing. I use it to share with people. So I don't feel bad, because I'm willing to share it. Like, it's not like I'm hoarding it and saying, nope, I'm never going to use this. I did at one point feel like I was going to hoard things, and there are a couple ink colors, like I think 3, that I'm like, I can't share this because this is like my absolute favorite, and it is not one I can get. Like my Kobe Light Rose, nobody's getting that. But that's just like one color that I can come up with at the top of my head. I don't think there's other colors. Like, I even limited editions, I am willing to share it. That's kind of how I feel. I'm like, it's a discourse where I think it's really important to be mindful of what you are doing and what you are consuming and what you are. And, you know, for some people, this mess right here would be so overwhelming for them. And it is for me, but it's also me dealing with months and months of grief. 2025 has been very hard on me. And it wasn't even in June when my father passed away, because my dad was in and out of the hospital starting in January with other sicknesses. We didn't realize that it was cancer related, but when we finally got the answer in May, it made so much more sense when he passed quickly in June, because that cancer had been there for so long. So we didn't know, but this is kind of what happens when you're taking care of your mental health and taking care of your kids and your family. And you know, I feel like I'm getting, I don't know. I always feel like I have to justify these things to other people, because I've spent so long in the shame of mental health, and I think we all do. But yeah, I just feel like you're not hurting anyone by loving your hobby, and it's not like I don't use it. I've literally just filled another 250-page journal. So, and I am going to start a new one today, and I fill sketchbooks upon sketchbooks. And so I don't feel bad, because I think I'd feel bad if I was hoarding it and like having like all the bottles unopened and like saying, nope, this is all mine, I'm hoarding it forever. I think I have 1 or 2 bottles. No, I have 2 bottles of a couple inks that are unopened because they were limited editions, and I'm still working on the 1 bottle. So all of my inks that are brand new, I open them like the moment that they walk through my door, I open them. But I think being open and honest about this stuff is really important, because I know there's other people who feel guilty. Don't feel guilty about your hobby. I think the one thing is being smart. And if you are overspending and you are spending more than what you make, and you're having a hard time keeping, you know, your house, your job, all of that, maybe then reevaluate. But if you are an adult who is making adult money and is contributing to society in a way that is, you know, good by, you know, playing your part, I don't see why you should feel guilty about your spending on your hobbies. And if you do, maybe there is a reason. And is it shame that you've had for other things? Or is it that these people are pushing on their shame and trying to make you feel bad so they can drag you down? Because that's usually what I find happens. But that's just my thought process. And maybe this is silly and maybe everyone agrees. But I hope that if you're watching this and you're somebody who's felt shame, stop feeling shame. Not that it's easy to stop feeling shame, but that's just what I wanted to say. I just feel so bad that people are afraid to share their joy, because this is my joy. It may be messy, but that's because I pull this all out because I have 500 things going on in my brain, and I have used all this stuff in the last week. So I really need to like put it back away so I can. That's why I'm trying to organize stuff a little bit more. But I think I want to get one more of that set of bags. I think they had one that was like 3-tiered of the bottles, and I think that would be really nice to have, where they can be out of the sun and protected, which is really important. But yeah, my drawers have been working. I've had my drawers for about a year now, and they've been working really great. But when I had empty space in my drawers, it meant I have more room for ink. And so maybe putting these in there is saying, hey, you have more room for more ink. Let's use your bottles. So like right now, one of my goals is to use at least 2 bottles of ink by the end of the year. And I'm getting close. Some of them may be smaller, but they are still bottles of ink. So I'm getting close to actually following and hitting my goal. And I do want to pass along inks that I am not finding that I love where I used to love it. It's just hard for me because like even with Kobe strawberry chocolate, I loved the swatches online. And so when I got it, I was so excited because I thought I was going to love this ink. Everybody loves this ink. It's such a beautiful pink online. And then when I got it, it was more dulled and brown than I expected it to be. And I love bright, bold pinks. And pink is life. Okay. And so I was kind of sad by how dulled it was, and more of a red toned pink than a purple blue toned pink, and I was really sad. But then I put it in a pen just randomly to just decide if I was going to let it go and just, pass out the rest of it to sample to people. But my ink tastes have changed, and now I am obsessed with trying to find alternatives for it, because this is what I do. This is how my brain works. It's like, oh, this is like an ink that's really hard to get. What other inks can I get that are easier to get so that I can buy them myself, but also tell other people? So it's a thing. I am not buying any more inks right now for it, but that is what I've done in the past, and why I have 50 bottles of pink ink. Yeah, so anyway, that's just kind of my thought process, and this little section got long, but yeah, I'm really enjoying trying to figure out all this stuff and taking you on this journey with me. So yeah. kids are home, so I have to be semi-quiet because otherwise they'll be like, Mom, what are you doing? But they're home from school, and I just made my afternoon pick-me-up latte. I got a steamer that froths as well. I got it offline, like I do a lot of things because I live in South Dakota. And I have been really enjoying it because it's nice to have like a little bit of a froth at home. Oh, I don't think I have a video on my channel where my dogs haven't interrupted. Brutus, enough, come here, enough. I don't think I have a video on my channel where my dogs don't interrupt with their barking. This time it was kids playing across the street. Oh, funny. But like I was saying, I love making homemade lattes. I find that I can make the ingredients less. Like, you have to customize things on, like Starbucks, and every once in a while I'll get a Starbucks when I'm out and about. But I really like to make my lattes at home because I can use my Fairlife milk, which is lactose free, and it has more protein, so it helps me meet my protein goals. But also it's just nice to have it in your fun mug, because look at this one. I got this one at Home Goods Marshalls a couple weeks ago with a friend, and I got a matching butter dish. So just a little bit of spooky Halloween decoration. We just don't have a lot of places right now that have cleanness. So if I can get it clean in the next couple weeks, that's my goal, is to have a few Halloween decorations. But I work for the rest of the week. I am exhausted, and I'm trying to figure out how to get all this stuff done, because I know when the weekend hits, we're not going to do anything. And so, yeah, but I do feel like I got quite a bit done in here. It's still just an array of a mess, but I ended up finding that, so this little shelf over here, it looks like a little dollhouse. I had 3D printed that for my Ferris wheel press inks because those bottles are obnoxious. If you know about Ferris wheel press inks, you know that the bottles are obnoxious. But I'm trying to put my inks, like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to put my inks in places that are darker so they're not out in the sun. And this was kind of in the living space, and I had it kind of hidden, so then you don't have it on display. But now I can have my Pop Mart figures. Some of my like Peach Riot ones and a couple of my Mollies don't fit there, but my Neotas do, which means that I can get some more Neotas. But yeah, I'm starting to see an end to my, at least my desk space over here. I need to clean out the drawers again. I once had them super organized and it was wonderful, but then I just started throwing things in because I got tired. Such is life. But it's just really nice to see my counter space again. We've been really focusing on getting the counters and the kitchen cleaned out, and like we cleaned out an entire cupboard in the last couple weeks. So things are starting to look less like hoarder central and more like a normal person lives here. And it got really bad. Like, it really got bad the last few months. Grief will do that. And so I'm really working hard to get it back to a place where it's manageable, because it definitely will not be manageable where it's at when I start working again full-time. But that's not until January, so I have time until then. And so yeah, this is the first day. I actually have a plan too, so I will probably go over this a little bit. I'll show you a little bit, but this is like one of these, I got this notebook at Five Below for $1. These notebooks are fountain pen friendly, which is fantastic. So if you find them, they're like B6 size, which is great. But I hate lined, but this is great for like little note taking. But the way that Joshi Corin comes up with her plans is physical, mental, social, leisure, finances, personal, planning, work, digital, home, development, and goals. And that's kind of like her weekly stuff. And so like I don't do anything digital. Like, I do have some digital stickers that I post up every once in a while, but I don't really do it. It's not something that I really want to deal with. I do want to clean out my files on my iCloud Drive, and I want to clean up my apps, but that's something that I'm going to do after the 3 months because I'm really focusing on my home. We'll focus maybe digitally after these 3 months, but my physical and is just maintaining my health routines. I've been tracking my protein for 2 months. I'm going to continue doing that. I've been walking 1 to 2 miles a day for like almost a year, so I'm going to continue to do that, and I want to just keep going with that and keep that up because it has been helping. With my mental, I want to find effective strategies for overstimulation. I have been just getting super overstimulated, and just even in the mornings, like I just want to scream at everyone because I need quiet, and when you have kids, you don't get quiet ever. So yeah, and social, I want to prioritize my kids. So these are kind of the goals that I have. I'm doing Inktober, so that's my like leisure, and work is working my way up to full time again and trying to keep my home in order. And my main focus right now is home. So I am going to break down like all those, like what my goals are for the next 12 weeks, like what I want to plan out every single day or like every week, and then we can break it down into dailies because I need that kind of structure. Otherwise my brain says, oh, look at this entire house. And so when I break it down and focus, like my focus for the last 2 weeks has been my kitchen, and it's almost there. Like it is almost there to just maintaining. And I have thrown so much out. It would be, and so then I'm moving into the living room and my bedroom, and then I'm going to move downstairs. And my husband's trying to do the downstairs as well because that's where his office is. But yeah, he works from home, so it's kind of nice, but he's been working just crazy hours. So it was really, really beneficial for me to be home right now so I can kind of try to take care of the home. I'm not a homemaker by any means, nor do I plan on being one, but sometimes, you know, when you have a partner, you have to give and take. So, you know, this is his time, and other times he has taken up more of the house load when I'm working, and it's exhausting. Like when I'm teaching full-time, it is exhausting, and he takes on a lot of this housework load. So because he hasn't been able to, and I've been in a mental state, it's just kind of everywhere. So we're just working at it. It's kind of like a work in progress. And so sharing, but like also know that this is not normal. Like if you see anything, this is not my normal life. This is just where we've been and where we are moving from grief and doom piles and stress. And so yeah, it's kind of a, gosh, it's exhausting to get to the point, get back to the like normal point, but we'll get there. Anyway, this is probably gonna be my last clip for at least today, but I just wanted to update you that I actually did get quite a bit done today, and I'm really excited about. I have my Ferris wheel press inks in a little bin, but I've got to figure out where to put them. I don't think they would fit in one of those nail polish cases, but I am half tempted to buy glass bottles that aren't those stupid round bottles that are the most obnoxious thing in the world. They're beautiful, they're cute, they're fun, and I get their aesthetic, but they are just impractical, and they are really hard to store. Same thing with Colorverse. It's one of the reasons I like try to find other brands that aren't those two brands because of their bottles, literally. I'm like, why can't you just make a square bottle? I get it, presentation is important to you, but also practicality, thank you, please. But yeah, I'm just really, really excited about that, and I'm excited that I'm starting to like actually see the ground level of this, because when this is clean, it's really pretty. So that's about that for now, and I'm gonna enjoy my coffee and fold some laundry before I have to make supper, and then it's all over. Only tomorrow and the next day are work days, and they will be long. No, they're not. Actually, work days are faster than these days. Being home is hard, but give and take in relationships, and it was actually a blessing in disguise that I've been home, because I've been able to process grief a little bit easier than I think I would have if I would have been working full time. But yeah, that's about it for today. I will see you in my next clip. Hi everyone. It is Sunday afternoon, so this is probably going to be my last for the week. I didn't get as much done as I planned, but you know, I made progress and I stepped forward. The only problem is that, I mean, you can look behind me, but if you look around the house is a mess all over again. Oh, it is just absolutely frustrating. And I know that people are like, you're going to miss this time and this days and this phase and blah, 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 blah. Like, it completely discounts the fact that parts of these times with kids is really hard. Because I feel like I'm fighting a losing battle to just get to like a stasis spot. Like I get everything cleaned up and I'm gone for a day, and then the house is just everywhere. And it's really frustrating, and we're setting up like routines and everything, and they still just don't want to clean, don't want to do their things. And so it's just like, ugh. Being a parent, and being a parent who's like a good parent that is trying to make good humans or kind humans and humans that like actually, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just frustrated because it's so hard and I just have not gotten breaks. So yeah, that's about right now. I am going to go sit on my couch and drink I have this is a coffee with protein powder. It's cookies and cream protein powder, I think. I don't know. I just threw stuff in, and it's got milk, Fairlife milk. So that's what I do. I do this in the afternoon just as a little afternoon pick-me-up. I actually used decaf because I didn't want any more caffeine, but I just want to go sit. I'm going to play a video game. I think I'm going to pull out Cult of the Lamb because I'm just really enjoying it right now. But I just need some time to myself in the quiet because it's just been mom all day. So that's about it. And yeah, I do want to, so my last part of this video, this is just like the last vlog part. The last part of this video will be me kind of showing a couple things that I have figured out for planning, at least for this create your life or change your life plan, change your life challenge. I have created some of the things that I want. And so I'm going to go over my goals. So that will be the next clip after this. But I'll see you next week because I have plans and I'm going to get through them. I'm really excited. But yeah, anyway, that's about it right now. All right, week 1 is almost done and we are getting set up for the next week. I cannot believe how fast this first week flew by and that I'm already in week 2. I feel like I kind of got off to a slow start, which is okay since I was still trying to like figure out what I wanted to plan and goal. And so I have been doing coming up with my main focus for the Change Your Life Challenge. And I use this is a Sufa Kukuyo soft ring notebook, so I can rip pages out and move things around. These are a lot of the times, these are what I use for my just like junk notebooks or like my notes. So I was coming up with my focus and I've really decided that yes, there's other things that I want to focus on, but I wanted to pick one main thing because the whole point of this Change Your Life Challenge is to pick one thing to focus on for 3 months and it will change your life. And having an organized, clean home that feels like a sanctuary or an oasis sounds wonderful. And so that's what I'm really focusing on. So then I broke it down from October, November, and December, since that's when I'm going to be focusing. So this month I'm focusing on my living room and my bedroom. And so, and I came up with living room, creative and quiet reading space. And so I'm going to look up different places and things. And I've kind of been looking at different furniture because we've been talking about getting rid of our couch. It is broken. It's what happens when you have young children, but it is broken. It's been needing to get removed. So one of the things is get everything organized so that I can get a removal service and get a couple chairs or something comfy that we would love to just sit and cuddle or read in. And then my bedroom, restful and organized. My bedroom is a giant mess because I just have way too many clothes and I have all these things, you know, that kind of stuff. And our bathrooms get so cluttered so fast. So I want it clean without cluttered. And the boys' room, that's my kids, their toys and books off the floor because they always have all their toys and their books off the floor. Our goal as a household with our bedrooms is that they are places of rest. And so they have
when I say toys, it's the only toys they have in their room are stuffed animals, but my kids are obsessed with stuffed animals, so they have way too many. So I want to find a solution for their stuffed animals, kind of curate those and declutter them. So that's going to be those two. The bathroom and the boys' bedroom is November. And even my wedding dress is still in their closet because it used to be my husband's office, but then we had babies. So, and then we have the basement is our living room and my office. My office still needs to be cleared out. This has been my goal for 4 years now, and it's happening. December, I'm gonna focus completely on the office. I mean, and the basement living area is moving Scott, my husband, into the office. And so I have this kind of broken down by week and just figuring out how it's going to do. And so then I even was figuring out which week was which. I used my little stamp from, I think this is a Midori stamp, but it's just like one of those self-inking oil-based stamps. And then I came up with my first list of goals. So my living room large tasks, and I've already gotten some done. So I am making sure all the toys are organized. We do have some toys up here. We have toys up here in my house is a split level. So we have toys in my living room up here, and we have toys in the living room downstairs. We want toys in one living room. So what I'm trying to do is to get all of those into a space where we can move them downstairs, because that's where they're going to be. And then I have an art cart right now for myself, and I don't really need to have an art cart on top of all my other space. So I'm converting that to my son Henry's art cart. We're moving perler beads to the art cart because right now they're on like this high shelf, and he's been climbing to get to them. We're moving my couch. I have a lamp shelf that I want to put together, but I was going to move it into my bedroom, but I have a different idea for that. And I need to list all of my old books that I've read onto Pango. And I need to get our computer onto the desk. So we're putting a computer up here in our space because I would like to have one. My laptop died a few months ago. So yeah, it's just been kind of figuring all this out. And yeah, and then just my bedroom will come after the living room. So that's all of that. So then I can break it down, because I've been working too. I can break it down by hour in my Hobonichi notebook. This is a Hobonichi notebook that I like to do my own pages, but I really like the Hobonichi, and so this is working really great. I have covered up this coming week. I've covered up with stickers for the private stuff. I'm going to pull those off. They're really they have lost some of their sticks, so I used them as a sticky note because I couldn't find a sticky note, but I have my Monday planned and everything. So that is where I'm at right now, and I have my weekly to-dos, and then I figure if there's anything like for notes and things I can put here, or I can just put some decoration or some journaling. But that's my plan. So this is what it's going to look like going forward. I just wanted to get it set up because I set this up, I think I set it up Wednesday last week, so I was just trying to get it down as fast as possible. So now I can have a little bit more fun with it going forward. And I've got my times blocked up. I don't have a color code system yet, but I made sure that all the tasks were in a different color. So yeah, that's about it. And so I will see you in the next vlog. I really am glad that you joined me. Let me know down in the comments anything. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just having a moment. So I will see you in my next video, and yeah, have a great one. And I hope that maybe you'll check out Joshi Corin's Change Your Life, because she's doing this as well. So I'm sure she'll have her vlog up today, which I'm excited about, or tomorrow. Either way, she'll have it up in the next few days. And I always watch her vlog. It has been so inspiring. And I didn't join the challenge last time, but I did this time. So anyway, and that is about it. So I will see you in my next video. Bye.